Oh, don't you know? Oh,
What's up, guys? Welcome to this video on Elvis is the Man. So, lately I've been reading the book Elvis and the Memphis Mafia by Elena Nash. It's a great book, and I just love reading about Elvis. It's like one of my favorite hobbies, pastimes. And I'm on the point now in the 70s, and I want to bring some things to light about the situation that Elvis was in. Now, there were three things in Elvis's life that I wish could have been changed for him. Basically, the biggest thing was that Elvis was not a confrontational type person, and he tried to avoid it unless he was really backed into a corner. Now, three things that were really bothering him, especially as it got later into the 70s where this all came to a head. One was Priscilla. He had her brought into Graceland, but after a few years, kind of the newness wore off, and he didn't want to marry her. From all the Memphis Mafia, what they say, and all sources pretty much come to the same conclusion, that he was basically forced or pressured into a marriage with her, which he didn't want. But for his reputation and for PR, he ended up going through with it, or at least that is my hypothesis based on all the information I've gathered. So you have that as one. Two, you had Colonel Parker, who was very domineering, really, I believe, led Elvis into deals that didn't really help Elvis's career, but just helped the Colonel financially, or what was easy money. Now, these were initially things that Elvis wanted to do, but he really got into longer contracts than what he should have, because, for example, the movies. He wanted to do movies, but it got into bad movies, and I believe Colonel gave him longer contracts than what he should have, without negotiating good scripts for Elvis, because they were easy money rolling in. Also, when Elvis wanted to go back to touring and doing concerts, he got into long stints in Vegas, which just wore him out. 2 shows a night, which eventually was just 2 shows for 2 weeks. But it was too much for Elvis. But he really didn't want to buck the system too much because of the whole confrontation thing. And so Elvis kind of put a Band-Aid on it with, the pills and buying sprees, which he loved to do, but he spent so much money. And then he would get Vernon mad at him because Vernon was always worried about going back broke. So he had 3 things on the line that he just wasn't coping very well with, which compounded the pressure that was on it. So even though the 73 special was very successful, the album went #1, by about March of that year, February, Vernon came to Elvis and said, hey, you're about to spend us broke. We need some money. So probably what happened was Vernon went to Colonel and told him the situation. So in an effort to get some fast cash, Colonel went to RCA to try to negotiate some type of a deal, some type of a payout. I mean, Elvis had just divorced Priscilla, and like I said, with all the spending, he needed some cash flow quick. So this brings us to the infamous RCA Deal, where in a nutshell, basically what happened was Elvis and the Colonel sold all the royalty rights of Elvis's previous hits like Hound Dog, Jailhouse Rock, Suspicious Minds, everything pre-73. RCA got the future royalties on that for a lump sum of cash, which is approximately $5.4 million. Elvis got half of this payout, and then after taxes, he got approximately $1.4 million, which, for artists of Elvis's caliber, some of the most successful songs in music history, $1.4 million is not really something to be that happy about. So this brings me to the real point, the center of this video. In the early part of 73, Priscilla got a new lawyer and says that she's entitled to more money from Elvis for the divorce that is taking place. Now, Elvis thought he had already negotiated a decent sum, which actually wasn't too bad for Elvis. Now, Priscilla's lawyer contacts Vernon and says, oh no, it's going to be way different, and that she's going to be suing Elvis for more money. So basically, Vernon goes and tells Elvis the news, and Elvis starts cursing her, saying, I've already given that B enough money. And now Elvis has got another issue because this is a financial hardship, and at this point in time, Elvis isn't bringing in that much money, and he really won't be getting much more because of the back royalties that he now will not get a check for. This really forces him to keep going on the road, keep doing the same towns, keep going to Vegas, which he hated. And like I said, it was compensated or bandaged up by him going on spending sprees, upping his medication, which started to really take a toll on his health and on his concert performances. And you can see this is just a vicious cycle, and Elvis really stopped caring. So guys, as you see right here, this is the Memphis Mafia, the core group. Basically the same guys that you see in these videos here, All the King's Men, this series that came out, I think, in the late 90s, are the ones that are in this book that I'm reading. And, you know, I've heard so many of these stories before, but each person has a different perspective that they like to, you know, put in. And, you know, this book, Elvis and the Memphis Mafia, is one I'm on at the moment. But I've read, you know, so many books, and I can't really say I have a favorite, but I really like, you know, each one I like is like my new, I've read is like my new favorite. You know, I've read Elvis and Me. That was interesting. I read that book just in basically a day or two. Elvis and the Memphis Mafia, that's great. I really liked Elvis. Ginger's book on Elvis, Linda's book, George Klein was good, Sonny's book was really good, I like that, Jerry Schilling. I mean, it's all so fun, and I hope you guys enjoy these videos and the little bits that I, you know, decide to make a video on, or if there's something I'm reading or some music I'm listening to, you know, I like to share it with you guys. And I really like your comments down below, because, you know, you guys add in things that maybe, you know, I didn't think about, or maybe other people who watch this, they read the comments down below that, you know, you guys put, and they can learn also, because I see the comments. I see Doug's comments, I see GRC's comments, I see, gosh, so many of you guys I can name. But I really appreciate the comments, and if you like this video, hit the like button. It helps to grow and expand the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. Tell me what you guys think about this matter. It was kind of like, it was very, very hard for Elvis to get out of it. Now, they do say that for the 73 special, that Elvis got off the pills for 2 weeks straight. Lamar says he wasn't as clean as some people say. Others are like, no, he was off completely. Yeah, like for the 68 special, he got off. You know, a thing that I've mentioned in this book that I'll share like on my Instagram and stuff like that, is they said that 40% of the time Elvis was high in the 60s and 60% of the time in the 70s. Now, I was surprised about that 60s number, but it's very interesting to see about Elvis's life. But anyway, we'll talk to you guys next time. See you in the comments.